Everybody, this is Carla. Welcome to the studio. YouTube is becoming a real pain lately between not being able to schedule my lives like I was able to before. Now, when I try to do an unpublished live, it I don't know what it's doing. It's messing with the whole I don't even know I am so exhausted. I don't even know what word I want, but it kind of shrinks things. I mean, it's not the orientation, but it shrinks things. And no, we can't have it that way. So, all right, let's get going because I want to get this done. So, this is my Friday night kind of live. So, if you are new to my channel and you're just watching this, typically on Friday evenings, I go live at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I create 3 projects using current product that you are able to purchase. For this Friday, I am featuring the Sweetest Star Bundle. This is in our current holiday mini catalog. Now, I am actually pre-recording this, so this is what I like to call my Friday night kinda live. Now, the reason why it's a kinda live, it's pre-recorded. I have so at the time that I am scheduling this video to publish will be at 7 p.m. on Friday. So I have a prior commitment to go to. So at the time, if you're watching this at 7 p.m., I am currently at my church where we are having our yearly women's Christmas dinner. And so I still want to be able to give you the content. I didn't want to miss a day. I did fall behind on my monthly Christmas card inspiration and my Throwback Thursday. And here I am recording all 3 of these videos on the same evening. That's why you will notice I am wearing the same shirt. So, let me cover a couple of housekeeping things really quickly because I have mentioned this in my other videos. Um, Typically, I do the more extended announcements when I do my Friday night lives. So, I am going to carry on and I'm going to do that right now, and I'm going to try and get through this fairly quickly. Again, for quite a while now, Stampin' Up! Still has that 30% off on the Close to My Heart products. There is a link in the description of the video that will take you directly to that page. Now, some of those things are while supplies last. Some items, when they're gone, but there are other items in there that are carrying over. So it's basically kind of getting rid of the stock that has the Close to My Heart name on it. We have 2 new catalogs that will be going live on January 7th. So we have our January to April 2025 mini catalog. And then we also have our January to February celebration brochure. Now, if you had ordered with me within the past 6 months, I did do a catalog mailing that Stampin' Up! Will be sending them directly to you. If you are here in the US and if you are not working with another demonstrator and you would like a copy of these catalogs or even our current holiday mini or even our current annual catalog, my email is in the description as well. Simply send me an email with your name and your mailing address, and I will get them sent out to you. Also, right now, Stampin' Up! Has a designer series paper special release. This is while supplies last. They have taken 3 past paper packs, and it's the same patterns, but they've changed the colors. So we have the Refreshed Beauty 12 by 12 designer series paper. The patterns on this are from the Blackberry Beauty DSP that we had in our holiday mini catalog a few years ago. So that paper had Blackberry Bliss, Rich Razzleberry. It had a bunch of purples, and there was even some gold foiling in it. This Refresh Beauty, it's the same patterns, no gold foiling in it. And the colors in this are Daffodil Delight, Flirty Flamingo, Granny Apple Green, Lemon Lime Twist, and Peach Pie. Then we have Serene Love. This too is a 12 by 12 designer series paper pack. Um, the colors in here are Lost Lagoon, Night of Navy, and Old Olive. So the designs from this paper is from the True Love Designer Series paper. It was part of a Valentine's suite in one of our mini catalogs a few years ago. All that designer series paper was in black and white, so now it's the same patterns but in colored. And then we have Shades and Hues, which is a 6 by 6 designer series paper pack. The colors in here are Fresh Freesia, Misty Moonlight, Petal Pink, and Pool Party. And the designs from this paper was our color theory paper that we had in our annual catalog a few years ago. And if I remember right, I think the colors that were in this paper back then were in colors, I think like Lemon Lime Twist, and what else was there? Berry Burst, that was another color that was in there. So they changed up the colors. So these are the 3 new packs. These are while supplies last. Also, typically a month before a current catalog goes to retire, Stampin' Up! Comes out with their last chance product list. Now, typically, the list would just be the items that are in that catalog that's about to retire. Uh, in the list, there would be items that would be carrying over. There would be items that are retiring. Some had a discount, some didn't. Uh, some bundles, the bundle price may have retired, but maybe the stamp set and the coordinating die or punch will actually carry over. So Stampin' Up! Has done something a little bit different. And I believe if I remember right reading, yeah, I can't talk. I'm sorry. That I think they're going to do this, like they're going to refresh this every other month. Again, it's items that it's while supplies last. So once they're gone, they're gone. And it's not just items that would be retiring from this current holiday mini catalog. It's also items, excuse me, it's also items that have been in the online exclusives for a while. There are some like older kit collections that are in there. Also items that are in the clearance rack. So everything is now listed under last chance products. I will have a link in the description that will take you directly to the page in the online store. Now, those items, they'll say last chance on them. If there are items that you see, I'll use this as an example. I'll use these and this because I did check. So these are the real red and white adhesive back peppermints and the baker's twine. Now, these are items that it looks like that these are actually going to carry over. They'll be in the online exclusives. It's not saying that these are last chance items. Now, the peppermints, these are currently on back order and they're supposed to be back in stock the week of December 23rd. So these embellishments were definitely a really good seller out of this catalog because yeah, every time they had them back in stock, they went on back order. So I'm happy to hear that these are going to be sticking around for a little bit longer. So some of the items will not say last chance on them. So that's how you can tell. And some of those last chance products, some are discounted, some aren't. And again, it's while supplies last. Now, before I started doing my recording, there is a list of items that are already discontinued. So this list, I ended up pulling this. It was midnight my time, Central Standard Time, the evening of December 5th. And so here it's got the list of what they were originally released in. So the product, and then it even gives when they actually discontinued, meaning when they had sold out. So right now, the elegant border dies and the deckled circle dies, they're both gone. The iridescent rhinestone basic jewels, the gold 1/8 inch faux leather trim, 2022 to 2024 in color Stampin' Right markers. The envelope treat boxes, the 8.5 by 11 pretty, no, not pretty, parakeet party cardstock from uh, our holiday mini catalog, the Joyful Images Mix and Match Specialty Ephemera Pack, and the Sentimental Wishes Cling Stamp Set. Now, I used that, I think, was it like 2 weeks ago? I think I had used that whole suite of product. So that stamp set in English is now gone as well. Now, this list is going to, it's going to continually change from day to day. So I don't know, since I printed this a couple hours ago, there may be more stuff. So if there are any items you see out there under the last chance products, and it's something that you want, definitely go on out there and get it, because you don't know when it's going to be gone, and once it's gone, it's gone. So let me get going into the cards. So my other videos that I did a little bit ago, I did 2 cards each. This is my Friday night kind of live, so I do 3 projects, and I'll be featuring the Sweetest Star bundle in this. And let me take a really quick peek here, since now I'm doing this, and let you know where this bundle kind of stands as far as last chance goes. All right, so from what I am seeing, it looks like the bundle. So the bundle and the stamp set are going to be retiring because they are listed as last chance, but it looks like this Star Punch is going to carry over. Now, the items that carry over, I don't believe they're going to show up in a catalog. They will go to the online exclusives. Now, the Sweetest Star Punch, this is currently unorderable. It is on back order, and according to the inventory status report, it is saying that it is going to be back the week of December 9th. So it's saying that next week it should be back in stock. All right, so let me now go back to the video, and let's get started on our projects. Okay, so let me bring in my first card. Now, there's a lot of things I did ahead of time just to save some time. Now this first card, this is a case. I changed it up just a little bit. It's a case of a card that my friend Barb Mulliken had created. I thought it was so cute that I wanted to remake it. Now, the only thing that's different is I did use a different embossing folder for my embossing. I don't think she used an embossing folder. I think she had actually used this image. She may have stamped it, or I didn't actually watch her video when she did this card, so I just see the image of the star on there. So she may have stamped it on this background, but I embossed it. So with my pieces here, I have a piece of real red, measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4.25. I have a piece of basic white. I believe that this measures 5.25 by 4. Then I have another piece of real red. This measures 5 and 1/8 by 3 and 7/8. And then I had embossed it using the So Swirly embossing folder. This is a regular embossing folder. It isn't one of our 3Ds. It is one of the larger ones. And this is in our annual catalog. So I embossed that ahead of time. And then out of some pecan pie cardstock, I had stamped both the gingerbread star and the Baking Spirits Bright. I stamped it with the Versamark ink, and then I heat embossed it using the white embossing powder. Ahead of time, I went ahead after I did the embossing on this. I did punch this out of that star punch. Now on this one, I'm actually going to cut this apart. And then out of a scrap of silver foil. Now this foil is an older foil that I have. I will have linked in the description the pack of the current foil paper that we have. It comes in silver and gold. It's in one pack, and then there's actually a texture to it. So I don't have that. I'm using what I actually have. So I have die cut this out of the nested essential dies. So I use this larger rectangle die right here. Okay, so let's put this together. Get the ruler out of the way. So like I mentioned, as you're watching this, if you're watching it at 7 p.m. on Friday evening on December 6th, I am at our women's Christmas dinner. Now, one of the things that I did mention in past videos, I mentioned that I was making these little jingle bell ornament gifts for all the ladies. Now, it turns out that we have what signed up, there's a total of like 67 ladies. Now, there may be some that may not be able to make it, but what I did was I actually created 100 of these. I usually do more than what I really need, but I always want to make sure that I have enough. I'd never want to fall short. So I'm adhering this embossed real red piece to that piece of basic white. I want to make sure that and of course the glue started to dry, so it's not exactly as even as I want it to be. And I'm not going to tear this apart either. Okay, and then I'm going to glue this to my card base. So I had 60 of them done. And so last Friday, uh, I started, I didn't do my live because I was doing my Christmas decorating. So it turned out that that day we ended up going out. The one thing that I wasn't going to do, but I did anyway, and I was kind of surprised that I guess Black Friday isn't quite the same as it was years ago, because it was interesting that I didn't see as many people as I would typically see on a Black Friday. So it was kind of interesting. So I went out, got myself a live wreath, and then I also got and it takes me back to the day when I was growing up, those glass C9 Christmas lights. Um, like Walmart has nothing but plastic. So I had bought those, I put those up, and then that evening, my assistant, Yvonne, was here, and we ended up finishing the last 40. And by the time we got done, what am I looking for here? I want my adhesive. Actually, I'm going to use my liquid glue. Yeah, so we had gotten those last 40 done, and by the time we got done, it was 3:20 in the morning. And then the next morning, um, then that's when I started doing all the decorating. So I'm going to add glue to this foil piece. This is going to be my cookie sheet, and I'm going to add this right here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in one of my big blocks here. I'm going to put that on top just to hold that down. And then I'm going to bring in my snips. Let's see, where, not those. Okay, where are they? There. No, that's not the ones I want. Don't want those either. There's the ones I want. Yeah, so we did the decorating on Saturday, got most of all that done. And then by the time Sunday was done, I had everything done. The tree was decorated, everything was cleaned up. But I'll tell you, I mean, there was a lot of late nights. Even if you watched the pre-record that I did from last Friday, you would have heard about the whole ordeal about making the cheesecake and it being late at night and me filming and just being exhausted. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the Bacon Spirits Bright out, and I'm going to separate each of these words. And I'm going to cut pretty close to the words. And again, this was stamped in Versamark and heat embossed in white embossing powder ahead of time. Yeah, so the cheesecake took quite a while. I mean, you bake it for an hour and 20 minutes, but then you got to let it sit in the oven, turned off for 4 hours. So yeah, I was doing my videos, but I'll tell you, I was really, really tired. Went to bed at 3:20, and then I was up at 8:20, trying to get some things done before I left to go to my friends for Thanksgiving. And Yvonne and another friend, them and their husbands were also at the same place I was. And so that evening, Yvonne came back here with me, and she helped me with the decorating. She helped me get um those little ornaments done. And as we were almost done, yeah, you see this? I spared you by covering it. Yeah, I went to like go and get something, that was in front of me, and my hand hit that hot glue gun. Yeah, that didn't feel good. I am not going to repeat the words that I said because they weren't very nice words, but I will tell you that it did hurt. So, yeah, it's been like too many late nights, and this is turning out to be a late night as well. And it's only going to be a few more hours that I got to be up and shower and work, and then when it hits 5 o'clock, pretty much get ready to walk out the door to go up to church for the dinner. And I think that goes until like about 9 o'clock or so. So I can tell you that I am going to be exhausted. Probably won't stay up much later after we get done with that dinner. So, all right. So I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of that. And then I'm going to bring in my mini dimensionals, and I take your pick tool. It's easier to grab these. And I'm going to place one on the back of each of these little strips. Now, I should be live next Friday. And next Friday, what am I going to be using? I'm going to be using the Light the Year bundle. So this is the one with the lanterns. So I'm going to use that next Friday. And again, I should be live. It shouldn't be a pre-recorded because I don't think anything is happening. But, you never know if anything, comes up between now and then. So, all right. So now I'm going to take my gingerbread star cookie and get my dimensional backings. Okay, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to place this right here, and then get my words here, and I'm going to stick those down. Yeah, this is a really cute card. Thank you, Barb, for inspiring a great card. I love it. Okay, so now we have two other embellishings that we're going to do on this. So I'm going to bring in these adhesive back peppermints, and I'm also going to bring in, this is the black and very vanilla large check ribbon, and I'm going to tie a bow. I feel like that it looks kind of dark. Alright, so my ribbon is twisted. Try this again. Okay. Don't need our bow too big. Okay. And then I have my snips that are specific for ribbon. Bring that in. And I'll trim up these tails. Okay. Let me put my pin back in here so I don't lose that pin. Because if that falls on the floor and it's on the rug, it would not be good if I stepped on that. Alright, let me kind of pull these tails a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to bring in my glue dots. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 2 on here, and I put them on the inner part of those loops. And then I'm going to stick that down right there. And then we got one more final touch. All right, let's see, take your pick tool, and then I'm going to bring in little peppermints, and then I'm going to take 3 of the smallest ones, and I'm going to place them right over these buttons that were embossed. And one more right there. Okay, so there is our really super cute first card. Okay, so let me put that aside. Let me gather everything up for our second card. Okay, so this one too, I did a lot of things ahead of time. So I have a piece of Granny Apple Green. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have another piece of Granny Apple Green. This is 4 3/4 by 3.5. I have a piece of a Garden Green. This measures 3 inches by 3-inch square. I have a piece of Basic White. This is a 2 7. This is a 2 3/4-inch square. And then I have a scrap piece of Basic White. So this is going to be my sentiment strip. So this is a 1/2 inch wide, and it's about 5 1/4 inches wide, but we're going to trim this down after we stamp our greeting. And then ahead of time with my star punch, I have punched out 2 of these stars. This comes from the Take a Bow 6x6 Designer Series paper. So in this paper, there's Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, and Real Red. You get quite a few sheets of each pattern in this. This pack of paper bundled with it's a single die that die cuts strips that you can then make gift bows with it. So that's this paper here, and again, this is the same piece. I have both of I'm using both of the patterns on here. All right, so I'm going to start off. I'm going to fold and burnish this card base. Okay. All right, take care of that. All right, I'm going to bring in some scrap paper. Let's see. Let's grab one that's not so messed up. No. Okay. We'll use this one. All right. So I'm going to take this Granny Apple Green piece right here. And in the stamp set, there's this cluster of snowflakes. So I want that. And then for my sentiment, I want wishing you a holly jolly Christmas. Okay, let me get these on my blocks. Okay, and then let's get this one. All right, so on this Granny Apple Green piece, I'm going to bring in my Granny Apple Green ink, and I am going to randomly stamp this piece with these snowflakes. So go right here. And we're just going to fill in this whole piece here. Okay, we'll do just a tiny bit right in here. All right, so there is that. You put that stamp someplace where I'm not going to get ink all over the place. Okay, and then on this sentiment strip, I'm going to bring in, I should have brought this in when I stamped that background. So I'm going to bring in my foam mat here and my Real Red ink. And then on this greeting, I'm going to stamp this over to the right. And then we're going to be trimming this down. Okay. Close that up. And then what I'll do is get this out of the way. And I'm going to clean these stamps. So that way we don't have ink that could get on anything. And I apologize for the shaking. The holder for my phone is attached to this table. All right, let's get this out of the way. Fix this really quick. Okay. All right, so I am going to take this Granny Apple Green piece and I'm bringing my seal. And I'm going to add some to this. And then I'm going to center this on my card front. Now this card is a case from Melissa Faust, and I've changed it up a little bit from what she did on hers. Okay, and then I'm going to take this basic white square and I'm going to adhere this to that garden green. We'll center that like so. Okay, and then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. Okay, set that aside. Then on these stars, I'm going to add some adhesive to the back. So we'll put it on the back of this. Set that aside. And then we're going to put it on this side. All right. And then I'm going to bring in my little guillotine paper trimmer. This was an offering a few years ago during Celebration. It was part of the joining special. And I'm going to trim this down a little bit closer to my greeting here. Do the other end. Like so. Okay, get rid of that. All right, so okay, so I'm going to take a dimensional and I'm going to put that on the end of my greeting where the wishing is. And I'm actually going to add some seal to the back of the rest of that. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in my real red and white baker's twine, and I'm going to tie a bow. Like so. We don't need it too big. Okay, that'll be good. And then I'm going to trim these tails. Okay. Like so. All right, let's put that away. All right, so now I'm going to take this square here and I'm going to add that over on this side, like so. Okay, and then I want to take, let's see, we want our green star right over here, and then this star here. I'm going to place that right there, and then I want my glue dots. And I'll put our knot from our bow right into that. Okay, and then we're going to place that right here. And then our greeting strip, we're going to place that right. We want it to go right over that knot. So that's straight. Okay. We'll stick that all down. And then we got one more part to do to this. We got to add some bling to it. So for this one, I'm going to bring in my rhinestone basic jewels. All right. And then there's 3 different sizes in here. So I'm going to go with each one. Up here. And then a tiny one right over here. Okay, so there is the second card. On to our final card. Now our final card, we're going to be doing some coloring. So hopefully I can get through the coloring fairly quickly and it still be nice and neat. And I want to put these away first. Okay, and then I want let me see, I don't think I did this yet. So I want the greeting that says, "May your days be merry and bright." And let me get all the pieces for this one and get a block for that. Okay, so our final card. This is another one that I found on Pinterest that I'm casing. I can't remember offhand who it is, but I did do some stuff ahead of time. Hold on a second. Got things all twisted up here. All right. So I have a piece of pecan pie. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. Scored it at 4 1/4. Now that same pack of DSP, the Take a Bow DSP, I chose another 2 patterns. So these are back-to-back patterns. So you can see that they're back-to-back. So for these, I die cut these using the perennial postage dies. These are in our annual catalog, and this is the one that I had used. Okay, and then I, at a scrap piece of basic white, I had punched out a star, and then ahead of time I had stamped both the Santa and Mrs. Claus in memento tuxedo black ink, and punch those out, and we're going to color those in with blends. So let me bring in that scrap paper that I was using before, and then let me bring in the blends that I'm going to be using. All right, those. All right, what I'm going to do ahead of time before I color those, on this punched out star here, I'm going to bring in my real red ink. And I'm going to stamp this greeting right here in the center. Okay, and we'll set that aside and close that up. And I'll quickly clean this stamp off. All right, so let's set that aside. Let's do some coloring here. So for Mrs. Claus's hair, I'm going to use my light smoky slate. I am using my brush tip and I'm just being very light-handed with it. Okay. I'm done with that one. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my light Granny Apple Green and I'm going to do her whole dress in this. Right. Okay, so that is that. All right, then so for her skin tone, I'm using, this is the 900 or the light. When these first came out, they went by numbers and now they have like deep and light and medium and all that. So I am going to color in her face. And then her hands. And then while I'm at it, on Santa, let's do his face and his ears and his nose. And then we'll do his hands as well. Oh yeah, we got one other part to do here. Let's get her legs. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to take, see that color ended up bleeding into that white ruffle. Okay. What do I want? I want my light real red. And I'm going to do her shoes. And then I'm going to do this part of her apron. right. A little spot right here. And then again, while we got this out, let's do Santa's hat, his jacket, and his pants. Basically, I'm doing the outlining here. So then I can then just go back in and color it all in. Okay, so let's just fill this all in. All right. So we're done with the red. Actually, give me this light smoky slate, and I'm going to do the shadow underneath his mustache here. Okay. And then, let's see, what do we want next? We're going to take our dark granny apple green, and I am going to just follow kind of like these lines here, and then the ruffles. So we're kind of adding our shadow, but I'm not doing, you know, all this blending. Okay. All right, so now we want this ruffle here. Okay. All right, I think we are good on her now. Okay, and then I think she's done. All right, so then on Santa, we are going to take our light basic black and we'll do his boots and then his belt. Okay, and over here, try and get this without getting that buckle part. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to come in with my dark real red. And just like what I did on Mrs. Claus, I'm going to do the same thing on Santa. I'm going to take the darker and then his hat. Okay, and then we're going to come around his beard. All right, let's see what else we need. Top of his belt and below the belt. All right, so that is good. And then the last thing to color, I got my light wild wheat. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the buckle on his belt. Like so. All right, so the coloring is done. All right, so now let's start putting our card together. Let's fold and burnish this. Okay. And then I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of this piece here. And I'm going to adhere this at an angle, like so. And then my other piece. This one's going to go on straight. So a little bit of that other pattern is going to show in the background. Okay, then the May Your Days Be Merry and Bright. I'm going to add adhesive to that. All right, and then I want to basically center this. Okay, so that's the middle. So I'm going to come right here with it. Okay. And then let's bring in our dimensionals. Let's flip these over. And let's add some. Okay, and then we're we're gonna move these. Okay, then we're going to take Santa and we're going to add him right over here. And then Mrs. Claus is going to go right over here, like so. And then I'm going to bring in, see the Band-Aid's starting to come off. Okay, then I'm going to bring in this baker's twine again. This time I'm going to do a double bow. Okay. We don't need the loops too big. Okay, and then I'm going to trim this. Okay. And then we'll actually pull these, make these loops just a little bit smaller. All right, we're getting there. All right, then I'm going to grab my glue dots. Okay, where's my glue dot? Put that right on the back of that knot. And then we'll stick this right here. And one more step. All right, let's close that up and put that away. Let's bring in these peppermints. I'm going to take one of the larger ones and I'm going to put that, actually before I do that, there was a step that I missed on her apron. To come in with the dark real red. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take one of the large peppermints, put that in the center of her apron. And then we have one of our medium ones and one of our small ones will go up there. So there is our third card. And timing's good because now my Band-Aid's starting to fall off. You don't need to see what, yeah, if I didn't mention it when we were about done, yeah, I burned myself with the glue gun. Yeah, that wasn't pleasant. Okay, so there is our final card. So let me bring in the other ones that the first card was this cute one that I cased off on my friend Barb Mulligan's card. I changed it up just a little bit by using, I think she had stamped her background. I used that So Swirly embossing folder. And then this one is a case off of Melissa Faust. She used Lost Lagoon for her card base and her background. And she did use this DSP, and she did this with her strip. Now her, instead of using Garden Green, I think she had used Pool Party on hers. But this is my version of it. So no, really, the only stamping was the greeting and this background, and then I just used a punch on the DSP. And then here is our final card. Let me move this down some so it's in the actual camera. And then here's our third one where I use the Santa and the Mrs. Claus images. I think I pretty much used everything in the stamp set except for the stamp that says sweet wishes. So we did Mr. and Mrs. Claus, and we did our greeting using that star punch. And yeah, so there is our third card. So if you liked the projects that I have made, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me in not only growing the channel, but also in growing my Stampin' Up! Business. Now, like I had mentioned, um, I think, I think, oh, yeah. So next Friday, I should be live. Again, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'll be featuring the Light the Year bundle. This is in our holiday mini catalog. Not 100% sure at the moment if it's one of those that's going to go away. Yeah, I already closed down the website, so uh, or the web page actually. So there should be no reason why it would be a pre-record because these past two have been pre-record, so I should be here live. So I can interact with you guys, and then I also do a wheel of names too for the cards that I make in that video as well. Now, like I mentioned, there's a couple of things going on. We have that last chance product thing list that's out there now, and there is that specialty. There's that that special release designer series paper. That's while supplies last. So all those links, they'll be in the description of the video. So yeah, so everyone, if have a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend, and right now I'm gonna go to sleep because it's kind of late. So I will see you guys later. Have a blessed one. Bye bye.